Call to order. Director Record, Director South. Here. Director Duell. Here. Director Wellman. Here. Please report that Chair Stassman is absent today. All right, let's start with the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comment. This portion of the meeting is reserved for any person desiring to address the board on any matter not on this agenda and over which this board has jurisdiction. Please be advised, however, the Brown Act prohibits action on items that are not listed on the agenda or properly added to the agenda under the provisions of the Brown Act. Board members may, however, respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. They may ask a question for clarification or request staff to report back to the board at a later meeting. Also, the board may take action to direct staff to place the matter on a future agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Please step to the podium and state your name for the record before making your comments. Anybody have a public comment tonight? No? Oh.
For the record, I'm Bill Syverson, and I've been, the last few months, not just with Measure A, but kind of going down the rabbit hole of our statutes in the state. And there's a question that kind of, it bothers me. It bothers me a lot that when Measure A passed, so Kern County went to the unincorporated areas of the county, us being one, said, hey, we're going to get another cent, 1 penny of tax, sales tax from you. And it passed by a slim margin, but it passed. None of that comes back to us, and it was intended for police, And I'm just, okay, why? And I keep hearing, well, we're a special district, we're not entitled. And I want to read that in black and white. My question is, the district was formed in a long time ago, 1970, I think, or 72. I don't suppose there's like a library or something, I don't know what you would call it, but what documents were used, what statutes were used to form the district? I reached out to LAFCO, and Bud sent me something, but because I keep running into this, you know, based on the statute your district was formed, by which your district was formed. Okay, well, so what's that? It can't be the most recent one that was passed, the act that was passed in 2000. Anyway, I just didn't know if we had something in the back office buried somewhere that says, oh, here's the packet that formed Stallion. Any ideas?
Would you like me to answer that, please? Okay, so your 2 questions, right? So,
no, I just one.
Oh, I thought you wanted to know about the sales tax as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, and I can email you the law, but it is state law that special districts do not collect sales tax. And I can email you that law if you would like me to.
Okay, thanks.
And the second thing, they're called our titles. And it's a quite lengthy document, so copying it would be a little cumbersome, but we're happy to open them up to you and you can look through them.
Okay, I'll just come down. All right, thanks.
Any other public comments tonight? No? Okay. We're moving on to agenda item number 5, Board of Directors time. This portion of the meeting is reserved for directors to present to the Board of Directors and the public information, announcements, and items that come to their attention. No formal action will be taken. A board member may request that an item be placed for consideration at a future board meeting.
I have just a question. If you know, Madam General Manager, any update on the electrical
in progress. The parts are in, and they should start looking at it any day now.
I've seen them working there, I just didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not quite yet. Close.
I have a couple of things. First thing was a question about the ski boats at the bridge.
Yes, sir.
Have you had any complaints about them?
Actually, no. Several questions, of course. But they are temporary. Our staff has been doing a tremendous amount of work on and around the bridge area, and for their safety, we needed to slow the traffic down. But actually, no one has complained.
Yeah, I haven't been down in a few days. I noticed today there were some outright, extension, delineators, okay. So that, yeah, there's one right in the middle of the road, and that kind of solves what I perceive might be an issue. The first time I encountered them, I didn't realize that slowing that, you're pretty much going to have to stop. I think that was what I was referring to at that point. It says slow, and it's like, wow, you really have to, in order to avoid some damage, you have to stop. And that's good. I'm not having a problem with that. It's just that there isn't really any warning about that. And so it's just a consideration. If you have something like to slow to 5 miles an hour there at the bridge, or I don't want to say, modify the bumps so not quite so abrupt, but there really isn't a lot of warning about how hard they hit. So it's just, if no one complains about it, I've learned to slow down.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, we haven't received any complaints, and again, they are temporary.
Okay, and how long do we think it's going to take?
Probably a couple more weeks.
Oh, great. The second thing is kind of a contradictory thing. It involves the sign. Two issues about the sign out on Banducci for the CSD. And I have noticed that at certain times of day, I think when the sun is overhead, the message becomes invisible. Now, I'm not sure whether that's plexiglass, or the other issue is there is imprinting underneath the actual letters that is confusing things. You're nodding your head, so I think it's something you're probably aware of. Go ahead.
Where do I begin? The sign is extremely old and has a lot of issues with it. The tracks that the letters slide into, in some places are difficult to slide the letter into, in other places the letter just falls out. And yes, it's very weathered, and the sun being on the plexiglass after all of these years is just not good for it. So it definitely needs a tremendous amount of work. Again, that's going to end up a funding issue. I've looked into if you'll notice, for some of the town halls, and I'll take this opportunity to publicly thank the Golden Hills Community Services District, because they allowed us to borrow their portable sign that is lit, and change it on your phone, you change the message instantly. Those exceed $25,000–$30,000 to purchase. So that is not in our budget. But definitely down the road, I think that we need to take a look at getting some bids to maybe put a Band-Aid, if you will, on the current sign. Obviously, digital would be ideal, but it's not in the budget.
Well, working with what we have and looking at simple ways of handling this, the writing, the imprinting that's underneath the letters, I mean, couldn't we just paint white underneath that? So I don't know what's actually going on there, but it's diffusing what the actual message is at certain times. And the other issue is, it sounds like the plexiglass is probably burnt. It wasn't, but I thought maybe it's just dust, because I really haven't noticed it before.
Plexiglass definitely needs to be replaced. I'm very happy under your direction to contact some repair places and get some bids and see what it would take to give the sign a facelift. Absolutely.
Okay.
Is it possible to do it in-house for our minister?
I can ask them. It just depends on the extent of what needs to be done. I'm not sure. This time of year, it takes light so late, I don't really know the answer to this, so maybe if somebody's come through after dark, you can tell me, but I know that there were some issues with the light as well. Some days it wasn't lighting up.
just to be clear, can you tell us what's going on with the imprinting underneath the letters?
I'm not sure what you're referring to on that. I'd have to take a look at it. I know that our emblem is behind that, the logo at one time. It's what?
There's another date showing underneath of it too.
There's a date?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just really, it's really difficult to read.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Okay, so slow down. Just kidding. Just kidding. My public service announcement. I'll look into it. We'll make a laundry list of things that we think need to be done, and I'll certainly speak with staff and see if it's something that they feel that they can take on. Or we can go out and bid with it. For sure.
Okay, thank you. And now for the contradictory part of this, again, the sign. What I found out before Memorial Day, week before Memorial Day, is that it's too visible. What do I mean by that? I don't want to call anyone out about this, but the message was Happy Memorial Day. That struck me the wrong way. Now, I have not been in Stallion the week before Memorial Day until the last couple of years, so I don't know whether that was always a message prior to Memorial Day. And I can't think of any holiday where you wouldn't wish people a happy or merry or any other thing you wanted to. But I thought this was just me, but until this year, I realized that it's such veterans because we're not really celebrating Memorial Day that way. If I have to offer some advice here, I would prefer it be changed to remember Memorial Day or honor Memorial Day. But Happy Memorial Day just doesn't sit right with me, and maybe it's just me, but there we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
One quick thing. Sure. Is everyone okay with the temperature in here?
A little warm.
Well, I turned it up because I was cold.
I'm okay.
Okay, so agenda item number 6 is the police report. Chief is not in tonight.
That's correct. Chief wasn't able to be here tonight. He asked me to just read the stats, and then he will give more detail and more in-depth report next month. But for the month of July, there were 5 arrests, 12 citations were issued, 124 reports were taken, extremely high, 186 calls for service in 1 month. On-call call-outs, there were 6. Officer-initiated investigations, there were 17. Field interviews, 15. The total time they assisted other agencies, such as Kern County Fire, Bear Valley, or Kern County Sheriff, was 13. 1 impound, 8 medical assists, and 8 vacation house checks. That's for the month of July. And I will note also, if anyone has not noticed, if you go to our website in the upper right corner, if you click on departments and you go to the police department, these reports are now posted there independently from the board packet, so they're very easy to find.
Okay. So the police report will be received and filed. Agenda item number 7, consent calendar. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by 1 vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the board or an audience member requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. This approval of the minutes from our July 15, 2025 board meeting, review of the financial reports, approval of checks for July 2025, and approval of CalPERS retirement payments and review of the loan production report. Do you want anything removed from the consent calendar? And do we need to do a vote on this one? I forget.
Yeah. You'll need a motion, second, and roll call.
I'll make a motion to approve and file the consent.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Okay. On to agenda item number 8, is our AFLAC presentation. We're going to hear the presentation from the AFLAC representative, Richard. How do I say your last name?
It's not insane, but insane. All right, so I usually don't require a mic, and I'm probably losing my voice. I can feel it from talking on the phone all day. It's been one of those nutty days. First off, thank you, everybody. Second, little comment. I wish you wouldn't take those speed bumps away. It's slowing everybody down. They're coming out of there like a chute. It's like, so anyway, there's maybe a smaller bump.
It's a complicated process.
Yeah, really. Seriously, all around, it's like, oh, please, just slow down, everybody. You know, I live on Churchill, and it's like, no. It's like, God, please, guys. Anyway, sorry, that's not why I'm up here. So I'm up here because I met with Laura, and she appreciated what I presented to her and asked me if I'd present it to you guys so that you got an idea of what AFLAC's about and what it could offer to the community and to the district office. So first off, everybody knows the duck, right? But a lot of people don't know what the heck the duck does because they laugh at the commercials, they enjoy, but they can't hear what's really going on. So the AFLAC product is really, and I'm going to hit this from first, just what it does for the community district. All right, that's where I'm going to start. I hit Laura up originally. I told her, hey, you know what? I can save you guys a lot of money. And she's going, how? It's like, I'll meet with you and we'll talk about it. So getting into that, I'm just going to go through. I've got my little cheat sheet here in case I forget what I'm doing. The first thing is it doesn't need to cost anything to the district. That's the first thing. It is a voluntary insurance. All right, it's a supplemental insurance. What supplemental means is it takes care of those things that health insurance doesn't take care of. So it jumps in and takes care of your deductible, your max out of pocket, et cetera, but it takes care of that by paying the policy holder. All right, so no necessary cost to the district. We do have some people who actually, oh, you put my stuff up there, thank you. We do actually have some clients who decide that, hey, maybe it's not a bad offering. 17-cent an hour raise. If I looked at anybody and said, hey, I'm going to give you a 17-cent an hour raise, I'd probably get laughed right out of, or I'd just get the, and that's it, right? 17-cent an hour raise would buy somebody an accident policy. So very valuable there. People that have accident policies end up using them on the weekends rather than coming into work for a Monday morning workers' comp claim. Almost half of workers' comp claims are Monday morning. Why? They hurt themselves on the weekend, go into the office, everything's fine. Oh, I hurt myself. Sorry, Mr. Employer, it's on you. So we reduce those from about just under 50, we reduce those by 30%. So that's one of the places that we do end up saving money. The other thing is, we have spoken to, when I've spoken with Laura, she'd mentioned that there's a little bit of problems attracting and retaining good employees. Benefits are really important with that. If you think about, people will go for a lower dollar amount for better benefits, like that. And every little bit that we can offer helps to attract and retain. So it helps with, hey, you know what, we offer this and AFLAC. They may not know what AFLAC is, but they all heard of it. And it's like, oh, that sounds good. I'll listen to that. So that's another place where, do you know how much it costs to hire somebody? The statistics on that, 25 to 30% of that person's salary is what it costs to hire somebody. Yeah, that's why. How much time does it take? How much advertising does it take? How many people do you go through? It's a lot, and it all adds up. How much training? When they leave, oh crud, now we got to train somebody again. we don't think about all of the process, but it is an expensive process. So again, by attracting and retaining employees, we are end up saving some money. The other thing is that Aflac offers, and I'm evidence, local. I'm here. People get me in person. It's not a guy from LA who might come out here once a year if at best. No, I live up the street. So that's another part that makes, that's what we try to do at Aflac, is we try to be personal and local. Last but not least, on one of the things that can help with Section 125, if anybody's familiar with that, Section 125 is a pre-tax thing that the government put out there. And basically all these benefits end up being pre-tax. So you're reducing your employer contribution right off the bat. If you should choose to do something and contribute, then you're also reducing your workers' comp, because you are reducing right off the top your gross payroll. Workers' comp is based on gross payroll, among other things. So not only can we lower the mod rate, which is the rate that your workers' comp is judged on, and goes up and up and up if you have a bad mod rate, but also we can take and reduce your gross payroll, therefore reducing your workers' comp rate. So there's a lot of good things right there that Aflac can do. So again, no cost, doesn't have to cost anything. If you wish it to, it can. So any questions on that section at all? It's pretty straightforward. It really is pretty easy. Yes, sir, please.
I have a question. So who's paying for it? Is
The employee.
employee?
Yep.
So, it seems like something that's to be discussed with employees.
My recommendation on
So, so you basically, what you just brought up a whole nother thing. How does this work? Say, hey, that sounds good. How's this work, right? So what are the next steps? First thing is, meet with whomever, establish the framework for the account. That framework just says, hey, we can go meet with the employees. Now we establish a time to meet with the employees. Could be safety meeting, all hands on deck, whatever that is, however that works, or one-on-one. We make it work. Let's put it that way. It's whatever is best for the district. We meet with the employees. They decide if they like it or not. They enroll. If we meet the minimum participation, which I guarantee 100% you will, account is established. They pay you guys take a deduction from their payroll and pay Aflac. Done.
You guys have open enrollment only once a year?
With the Section 125, yes, sir. Whenever.
Oh, okay.
So if we started this, and I'm just going to use a random date, April 1st. Yep. Every April 1st would be, every March would be your open enrollment for the April 1st, okay? So it's dependent on what we decide. If we started it for September, perfect, great. And you guys decide we want it January 1st. So we move it. We make it January 1st. There's no rules on that. So it's wide open. Any other, does that help?
Yeah, thank you. What are you looking for from us? Permission to talk to employees? I'm not sure.
That's just about the size of it. Is really what it boils down to. Is if it sounds like something that you would enjoy doing. I mean, the district used to be an account years ago. Don't know what happened. Don't know where, a lot of COVID happened, a lot of things happened, and I have no idea what the reason is, but years ago, from my understanding, the district was an account. So my desire is like, hey, let's be friends again, let's try this and see if it works. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Is yes, we think it might be good, it's a good offering, it's not necessarily going to cost us anything. And yeah, we could take it out of the deductions. Take the deductions out of their paychecks and pay Aflac. So that's pretty much the simplicity of it. You get that?
Madam Chair, if I may. Richard, what is the minimum amount of employees that you would need to move forward?
So I said we're going to get that 3.
Employees we have
Well, yes, I'm processing in my brain because most of them are part-time and they don't get benefits, so.
Uh-huh.
We're maybe looking at about 18 people.
So,
Is that
we
accurate, Judy?
we don't care, it's up to you, we don't care if they're part-time or full-time. We aren't stuck in that super governed healthcare industry.
Yeah, but our employee manual.
That's why I said, no, that's what I was saying, it's up to you guys. I just want to make that straight, it is up to you, because Aflac is not picky that way. There are other regulations in the healthcare where it's like, you got to have this, maximum of 30, hours, minimum of 30 hours and blah, 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 so. 18, typically we get 50%. So I'm not worried about 3. That's why I said 3 is like, that's a no-brainer. That's going to happen.
So what you're offering would be supplemental coverage and you're not looking to.
I am not looking to replace or change a blessed thing. It's all going to be the same. We just offer something. In fact, can I show you guys how Aflac works? Can we have some fun?
Not with me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're the first on the list.
No, I do not have Aflac right now. I don't want to have a scenario.
So I'm going to show you guys how Aflac works, and this will help everybody. So really what I'm going to do is I need how about a volunteer? Would you care to volunteer? And just go with me. You just sit there and smile. That's it.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Smile.
Beautiful. What's your name?
Mary.
Mary. Fantastic. Another volunteer. Man, come on. Somebody, just be yeah. Sure. Kyle? Niall. Todd? Niall. Niall. Okay, cool. All right, so this is how Aflac works. We've got these two wonderful people. What you guys don't know is they're best friends. We are. You guys are best friends, and you love motorcycle riding. We do. Yeah. So you guys went off and took off on a motorcycle ride, right? And on that motorcycle ride, come around the corner, and there's an elk in the road. And you're both animal lovers. You don't want to hurt that elk. So you lay your motorcycles down, right? Now, elk's unharmed, so good news. Bad news is you both broke your hips. Yeah, not good at all. So, here's how Aflac works. First thing is, you're out in the middle of nowhere. You had to jump into a helicopter and get airlifted, right? So, let's see here. You didn't have Aflac, did you? No, unfortunately, you didn't. You had Aflac. So guess what? You got some money. Got a nice little piece of money there, and you got a good window seat on the helicopter, right? That was pretty cool. Second, you getting up in the honor, right? You got X-rays. You got X-rays. You got to see a cool picture on your. Little thing here. Got to see a really cool picture of your bones, broken hips. MRI. Yeah, you didn't either. But you still, you're looking at MRI pictures. It's pretty cool. It's technical. We enjoy those, right? You get some more money. Doing pretty well over here. Let's see. Broken hip and surgery. You didn't have Aflac, and that it's not a good thing, right? So, more money, pretty simple. And this is how Aflac works. All right, next. Hospital stay. 5 nights at $300 per night. Admitted to the hospital and all that. Well, you got good food, right? We love that food. That's good stuff, right? You got more dollars. Yeah, you got to know the nurse by the first name, right? Yeah. Chuck, he was pretty cool nurse, wasn't he? Let's see, out-of-town transportation. People have to come visit you, right? Well, let's see, you got a family coming at your expense. That's pretty cool. Guess what? You got money for that. Pretty amazing. Let's see what happens next. Oh, they had to stay, and that was in a hotel, and that's it. And so, of course, we got some money for that, right? Because that's how Aflac works. They just keep on giving you money for stuff. Believe it or not, I'm not making this up. It matches the policies. Physical therapy. You're recovering well. Doing well. You're doing really well in recovery. And follow-up doctor visits at co-pays and deductibles and all of that. And last but not least, you have to get in that wheelchair, and well, you get to pull wheelies going down the halls and stuff, and you get some more money. So that's how Aflac works. So let's talk about what that really means, right? How much do you guys think she would have got? Come up with something. $1,200. Okay, that's a pretty good guess. Anybody want to come up with something else?
What was the question?
How much money do you believe that she would have received for what we just went through? She's got a nice little wad on her hands there.
$3,000.
Well, $17,000 is what that was worth. Her medical insurance took care of most of it, if not all of it. She got that on top. All right? Well, how much do you think that policy cost her?
That's $30 a month.
Good. What do you think? I'll say 50. About $78 a week. So you're close. So very affordable. So does that show you how Aflac works? Because that's exactly what it does. This is not made up. These are numbers right off of the policy. And I've watched it happen. I just had a call on Friday. Went in and met with somebody. The woman had a cancer policy with us. She'd had a first-time diagnosis building benefit rider for 20 some odd years. Her jaw dropped when she heard how much she was going to get from that. Just shocking. So Aflac, we have cancer policies, we have accident policies, critical illness, hospital, critical care, and they all work the same way. And none of them break the bank. They're all very affordable. All right, so that gives you guys an idea of how this all works.
So wait, now you have to give the money.
Hey, I got one of these in a couple of days. I was like, man, have you tried printer ink lately? It's expensive.
Or did you say that, you just had Aflac, before?
It's my understanding that years ago, the district had Aflac. And I have no idea when or why or how, because that's before my time with Aflac. But an old district coordinator here said, yeah, I remember they were a good account. We had them as an account.
I'd like to know the reason why.
You know, we lost in 2019, we had some leadership change. Local leadership change. And it was not a good thing. Then COVID hit. Not a good thing. This is how we do business. We don't do business over the phone and virtual. We do business in person. And between the leadership change and COVID, we lost a lot of agents. We lost a lot of clients. I took over district coordinator in 2000, let's see, let me think this out. 2024, I took over as district coordinator, and I spent every bit of that time repairing things. Taking care of people that have not been seen for years, bringing accounts back on board, doing a good job. And I hate to toot my own horn, but that's what I've been doing, is going out and paying attention to people and taking new agents with me and training them on how to do that and showing everybody that, hey, this is how business is done. And I can't tell you how many people I've brought back up, people I've grabbed and said, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, but let's make it good again. So that's part of what I'm doing right now as a district coordinator. And I'm training new agents and trying to build all this up. And right now I'm going crazy.
It sounds like participation may be contingent on you and your relationships here. May I ask how long you've been at Stallion Springs and how long?
About 10 years. Oh, how long am I going to stay? If I listen to my wife, we're never going to leave. If I look at it, I may leave, well, when I get like really old and frail and I can't lift the damn pellets for my pellet stove anymore and it gets too cold, I may turn around and say, hey, honey, I don't know. But right now, I have no plan on leaving.
So you're listening to your wife?
No, I'm not too old yet. That's the whole thing. I'm still lifting the pellets.
I'm still splitting fire.
Yeah, there you go. Any questions? That come across okay? You guys got everything? Good.
I think there's a recommendation on your page.
So that's a survey the staff and inquire how many would be interested in the program. So that's something we would direct you to do.
May I say something, please?
Yes.
Every time that happens, it doesn't work. And I say every time. The reason for that is most of the time when employees hear, because they can't do what I just did, is, you want some more insurance? And that's not the way Laura would present it. I know that. But that's what they hear.
I think she needs to direct her to, as a board movement, to allow you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Am I correct in understanding?
Yes.
Yeah, she wouldn't speak for the board.
Okay, perfect. Because serious. I mean, I'll give you a prime example. I had a new agent, and I got something going with him, and I said, okay, take it over. You go ahead and get this client. And he came back to me and said, well, she said that nobody was interested. Fast forward months and months later, that agent was gone. I had another new agent who had a contest. And it's like, okay, you need one more account to get this. I said, let's go get this one. I walked back into that woman who told the other agent nobody's interested. And I said, ma'am, would you please give me a chance to present to your employees? That's all I asked. She goes, sure, of course. Half of them signed up. So, I mean, there's the difference.
Right, and the board will need to decide at one point whether which route we take, if, we contribute to it or if the employees do it as well.
So that's what I.
But down the road,
when
we need to find out if any employees are interested first.
So you asked the question who's paid for it. He said the employee pays for it, but
There's an option.
an option where the employer does pay for it.
There could be an employer contribution. Again, that equates to about a 17-cent an hour raise would do an accident policy. I say accident policies, that's very popular in the United States. In Japan, they buy everybody cancer policies. They love the cancer policy. So it's a cultural thing. It's what works well. The accident policies are very inexpensive, so are the cancer policies, but inexpensive, and they do help with the workers' comp. So I think that's probably why that choice to accident policies happens.
You mentioned that there are a number of different kinds of policies that you offer.
Yes, sir.
It's not under one umbrella thing.
No, it's designed as a pick and choose. So when I speak with the employees, I turn around and I tell them, I said, think about this while we go through this, or after I get done. I say, think about what we just went through, and look at what stands out to you, and think about a budget, because it all looks good. I'll take one of each, please, thank you. But the budget starts to get in the way. So let's look at what stands out, and then look at the budget. For me, what stood out to me, my dad died of cancer, my mom died of cancer, my sisters had cancer. I'm sitting here going, I'm next on the list, give me that cancer policy now. I didn't even have to think about that. I've watched people, Ashley, down here, you guys all know Ashley, P-Dot truck. You know what stood out to her? The critical care. She just went through what she went through with her dad. And she went, give me that now. And the accident policies, because she's got 2 kids that play hard. So, you know, that's what stood out to her. So everybody has something different that stands out to them.
But each one of those will have a cost attached.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, broad brush stroke, accident policies, $7 to $8 a month. Cancer policies, $7 to $8 a month. Critical, that varies. And it varies a whole bunch because it's age-based. All right? So that critical care, all of a sudden, you know, if I get a young person, it's so inexpensive, it's not even funny. It's ridiculous. It's like, hey, you buy that now. The older you get, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, that's a little bit steep, right? Hospital, that's a choice thing. You can choose what works for you. And that's a consultation. That's really going through a lot of things with people. But for the most part, they're pretty expensive. We do have short-term disability policies. But with the changes in the law in the state of California, anybody who's making $60,000 a year less is getting 90% of their paycheck now. So that was effective January 2025. Anybody making over 60 is getting 70% of their paycheck. So AFLAC can kick in when somebody starts really making a lot of money. All of a sudden, that short-term disability counts. But anybody under 60, it's like it's not worth doing. The state of California is going to go, can't make more on disability than you do when you're working.
So sorry.
Please.
If the district decides to help pay for the cost, I feel like that's a further down the road discussion. Is it something we want to just have and talk to the employees about doing it themselves for them?
I am most comfortable with this, if it's presented as employee-only contribution and no recommendation by the board. It's just out there. If you want to do it, it's on you and AFLAC, and the board's not recommending this. Under those conditions, I'd be comfortable with this.
Yeah, I agree. That's all up to the employee.
I feel like there's just so many variables if there's district coverage. If one employee wants cancer, one just wants basic. There's so many different variables to try to hash tonight that I would like to move forward with it being a employee cost and allowing them to talk to them.
So with regard to something you said about one takes, one doesn't, the one thing that we do recommend, and it's the way to be compliant, is that meet with the employee, you want it or not. You know, obviously it doesn't sound like that, but you want it or not. Yes, you do, great. Here, you don't want it, great, sign the waiver, thank you.
So you have to sign a waiver if you don't want it?
Absolutely. Why? That protects the district. It protects the district with compliance with
Sure,
Section
that's
125, and they had it offered, but more importantly to me, John says, hey, I got $6,000 when I screwed my arm up. And Joe says, well, I screwed my arm up pretty much the same. Why didn't I get anything? Well, you didn't have AFLAC. I didn't know. And now it goes in the bad direction. So that's why the waivers are important.
All right, I make a motion to allow AFLAC to have a conversation with district employees about joining or not joining.
I want that to be explicit that the board is not making recommendations, this is all their decision.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We're on to agenda item number 9, approval of the transfer of money for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. So this is the background. At the end of each fiscal year, the district reviews the financials to determine what funds should be moved. After review, it was determined that the transfers, as noted in the attachment, can be made. Keep in mind that the year has not been audited yet, so a few adjustments may be made on the district's financial records, but we do not expect to
This is an annual routine agenda item, that the financial director needs a motion on.
I make a motion to approve the transfer monies for fiscal year ending June 30, 2025.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Agenda item number 10, general manager's report.
Thank you. So, most of you are familiar with, the term Measure A at this point. Measure A ballots were mailed out by the Kern County Elections Office on July 28th, 2025. They're due back by August 26th at 8 p.m. Elections will count and certify the election, and they're telling us that results should be official by September 2nd. On August 9th, we have held the last of 6 town hall meetings regarding Measure A. Thank you to everybody who attended or watched online. Some of them were quite lengthy, but a lot of good information was shared, and thank you all for participating. A lot of you that are in this room were there, so thank you. Stallion Springs Oktoberfest has been nominated for Tehachapi News 2025 Best Community Event.
Wow.
Voting ends tomorrow, so when you get home tonight, log on. Vote. As I do monthly, I attended the Regional Park and Recreation Management meeting representing Stallion Springs. That meeting has proven to be a very, very productive, very collaborative meeting. So that's always a success. And just for clarification, I think I've touched on it before, but the purpose of that meeting is so that, you know, the city of Tehachapi isn't holding a big event on the same day as Oktoberfest, or Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks District isn't showing the same Disney movie on the same night as Stallion Springs or Bear Valley. Collaborating our calendars and working together as a group and not competing with each other. So that's proven to be very productive. Each board member has one of these in front of them, and there are some at the back counter. This is called Know Your Zone. It is a community outreach program that was initially launched by the Kern County Fire Department. The postcard that is in front of you is an exact duplicate of what the fire department distributed, and of course, with their permission, all we did was change it to Stallion Springs Police Department instead of Kern County Fire Department. And then, so these were all mailed to every single water customer in Stallion. And then this was put out on our website and social media, some instructions. Basically, the Kern County Fire Department has divided the county into what's called emergency notification zones. So anytime there's a need for evacuation, any kind of an emergency announcement, things like that, they cite the zone number. So you scan the QR code, you put your address in, and it tells you what your zone is. The thought process is you can write it here in this white space and put it up on your refrigerator, your bulletin board, somewhere where it's handy in your home, so that, you know, 2.5 years later, you can't remember what your zone was because you don't look it up every month. It's right there in front of you. So, and I want to thank the Support Stallion Springs Foundation. They paid for the postcards to be printed and mailed. My last announcement for tonight is that our dedicated financial director of 34 years, Jenny Morris, will be retiring at the end of this year. So we do currently have classified out advertising her position. Obviously, that's a wealth of knowledge, so the sooner the better we can get somebody shadowing her. And my goal is to get someone hired hopefully by the first part of September, because getting the next billing cycle will be in October, plus Oktoberfest. There's a lot of year-end things, so it's going to be a monumental task to try to fill those shoes. So you'll get a chance to tell Jenny thank you for her years of service.
Any good questions?
I've received a lot of resumes, actually. The way that our fund accounting system works, when you are dealing with public funds, there's some very specialty, items that I'm looking for in a candidate. Preferably working with public funds in the past would be a good quality that I would look for, understanding the rules, understanding when, funds are allocated for a specific purpose, how you can handle those funds, things like that, ideally. That's gonna be tough, but that's trainable. QuickBooks and Excel are obviously an absolute must. So, I have received a few resumes that have those qualities mentioned on them. And that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. So the general manager's report will be received and filed. And we are on agenda item number 11, adjourn meeting, I need a motion.
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting. Second.
All those in favor?